Hey guys, Triccy here from the People's Revolution. Now I didn't want to do this video, but my morals, my ethics, and the responsibility that I feel towards the people in this movement has pushed me to do so. Now, as the title suggests, a suspended doctor has publicly announced that he's forgiven me, he's apologised to me, and he's also publicly announced that he's dropping a defamation court action against myself. Now, this isn't actually the purpose why I'm making this video, but we'll get to that later. So some of you might be wondering what this is actually all about. Now, it all started when the suspended doctor made claims that he had won in the High Court. He claimed that he had sued the Commonwealth of Australia, that he had sued the Commissioner of the Australian Electoral Commission, that the referendum was invalid, that it was over, that the no vote had won, and that there was nothing that anybody could do about it. So let's check that out.
My victory came this afternoon at 4:45 p.m. That's right, Michael. I'm announcing right here and right now that the referendum of 2023 is invalid. It is unlawful. It has been lost. There is no hope for the yes vote at all. The no campaign has won, and there is nothing anybody can do about it.
I want to make it very, very clear. It is not true.
There has been no High Court victory.
The court has chosen to refuse to file that paperwork.
And if you look at the actual documents, there was no victory.
This guy's full of crap. Like, he's just lying.
If you would stop being so fragile and so delicate about your ego and trying to be the hero all the time and get your paperwork right and come together, you could have asked one question. Where is the writ?
Now, as you can see, many people, including myself, felt it necessary to set the record straight. The fallout from his video was that many people in the movement went around saying that the referendum is over and that nobody needs to vote. Obviously, this is very damaging to the outcome of the referendum. Now, in reality, his application to the High Court was rejected. The paperwork was stamped with a refusal notice. The game was over before it even started. There was no court case. Pursuant to Rule 6.07.2 of the High Court Rules 2004, I direct the Registrar to refuse to issue or file this document without the leave of a justice first had and obtained by the party seeking to issue or file it. Signed by the Justice of the High Court of Australia. And good on him for trying, but in my opinion, he's completely misled the movement with his false claims of victory. So what has he actually forgiven me for? For speaking the truth and helping to restore order in a very confused movement? And he's apologised. And I thank him for that, and I accept his apology. And I mean this when I say it. I mean William no harm. But this still needs to be dealt with, and that does not mean that his past actions were either correct or justified. And he's gone on to say that he's dropped this alleged court action on me. Well, there was no court action to begin with. It was simply an alleged concerns notice, which was mailed out. Anyway, I got one today. I can't really make it out. I think the initials are WB, Willie, Little Willie, Pin, no, I don't know even. So I can't really make it out. It's probably nothing important anyway, so they can go in there. Well guys, as stated earlier, none of that is actually the reason for this video. So let's check out the most recent events.
The reason I've taken legal proceedings against him, because this is a matter of life or death for me. If people don't trust me, if they think I'm controlled opposition or a liar or whatever it may be, they're going to stop supporting me. And that's the only money I make. That's the only money I make, Carl. I don't have a job. I'm not allowed to work. Yep. APRA hasn't let me work for a year. And I even filed an application in the Supreme Court to let me work in any job at all. And I lost that one. So it's devastating for me to have Triccy say these things about me.
Is that any job in health or any job at all?
At all, sir. At all. It's an outrage. It's a disgrace and a disgust, and the people of Australia need to know that, to see how unlawful this APRA agency is, that they think they can regulate me that much. If they can do that to me, they can do that to you.
Can't you attack them on basic restraint of trade laws?
I attacked them on the International Political Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, and the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court said, William, your arguments are wonderful. They're so good, in fact, that I need not rule in your favour.
So what's been stated here is that he cannot work in any job, and that is the reason why he needs donations, and that is why it is a life and death situation. Now at this point, the interviewer seeks to clarify whether he meant can't work in any job just in the medical field, and the reply comes, any job at all, any job at all. Now, I'm sorry, but I know of no public or private entity or any court that has the power to rule that you cannot work in any job in any field, because it is a basic right that every man and woman is able to earn a living and earn an income. Now, it does appear that William has made a filing to the Supreme Court. It's almost 100 pages long, and there is one order that he seeks in there, which is an injunction to allow him to work in any job outside of the medical field. The truth of the matter, guys, is that anybody who currently works even full-time at the moment can also make that application. It doesn't prove a thing. Now, what the suspended doctor might have forgotten is that the APRA document, which clearly states that he is simply not allowed to work in any job in the medical field, is available online. As seen in this document, which is available on his website, on page 7 of his submission to the Supreme Court, you can clearly see in section 9.1, I request an interlocutory injunction to restrain APRA and the board from enforcing their compliance letter against me to stop me from working in healthcare outside of my suspended professional registration. What this gives away is that the compliance letter from APRA only restricts him from working in healthcare positions, not any job at all. Now, what he may have also forgotten is that in the same document, in point 15, it clearly states that he only isn't allowed to work in the medical field. Point 15. On the 18th of August 2022, APRA emailed me a compliance letter entitled Compliance Monitoring, then in brackets, exhibited and marked F-1, stating that I could not work in any paid or unpaid roles in healthcare. They wrote, start quote, the suspension of your registration means that you must not practice as a medical practitioner. Practice means any role, whether remunerated or not, in which the individual uses their skills and knowledge as a practitioner in their regulated health profession. Now, the reason I've made that point, guys, is because that is not what he said in the video. In fact, he went out of his way to clearly state any job at all. Well, I'm sorry, guys, but I'm done. You know, even in past times, this man has publicly denounced the People's Revolution, publicly denounced AMPS, publicly denounced Tammy Jane and others without first coming to us privately to seek resolve. Even after that, we offered him an olive branch and invited him to speak at the next rally, and that was done in the name of unity and in the hope that we could build a relationship going forwards. This time, the moral and ethical boundary has been crossed, and there is no coming back from that. We're done. Now, guys, I do not seek to cause harm to anybody. I do not seek to cause a division, but I feel I have a moral obligation to the people of this movement to intervene when I feel the need to do so. And this is only the third time since 2017 that I have felt the need. And after watching what has been on display for the last week, I know I've done the right thing. When I have that feeling come into me, I need to do it. So guys, basically, in summing up, the People's Revolution and myself will not be addressing this matter again. We are done, and now we're moving on with positivity as we always do. So guys, we love you all, and we'll see you soon.